Welcome to another segment of Steal Our Winners. This is, believe it or not, the very first time on Steal Our Winners we're doing it on Google Meet. So this will be interesting. On the other side of the screen is someone I am super excited to actually be talking to. His name is Simon Shaw. I first heard of Simon from Andre, a friend of mine that is a baller marketer, and he made the intro. And then when I was talking to Simon for the very first time, he was telling me what he does, and he gave me some very impressive results. And it turns out, I asked him like what kind of clients he has, and it turns out that a client of mine had actually just hired him a casino in Brazil. So that's how we connected. And I asked my client like if they were excited about working with him, and they said they were super excited about working with him. And they're very discerning marketers, so that was a big endorsement from my world. And he and his partners create viral videos that grow and build and establish personal brands and grow and blow up really businesses. They've had about 200 clients in the last 3 years. Some of them you might have heard of, like Chris Williamson. I'm a fan of him. Daniel Fazio and Peter Sage, who actually has been a contributor here at Steal Our Winners. They've probably generated well over 1 billion views in those viral videos that they create. And so just welcome, Simon. I'm super excited to have you here. And I've been looking forward to this all week.
Amazing. Well, first of all, I'm super happy to be here. Great introduction. I couldn't have asked for a better one. And yeah, really super excited to share with you guys, what I have here. If you don't mind, at any point, if you want to ask some questions, feel free to hop in and do so. I'll just share my screen right quick. Get the presentation up. Just let me know when you can see it.
I see it.
Amazing. So today I'm going to be telling you guys a little bit about, personal branding, organic growth, and I'm going to be doing it through the lens of this crazy result that we were able to produce in the past 6 months. And it's 1.4 million personal brand followers from zero in 180 days. And I'm going to lay out the roadmap for you guys and hopefully give you some actionable tips, that you can take back to your own content, your own personal brand. And, this stuff can really be applied whether or not you even have a personal brand, if you just want to do it for a regular company brand or whatever. But these are going to be 7 super actionable steps to do so. So what are we going to cover? First of all, I'm going to give you the overall roadmap just to give you the full idea of exactly what the strategy is roughly going to look like. We're going to talk a little bit about the platforms you should be on, the psychology behind truly viral videos. A lot of people don't really understand this. There's a lot of misconceptions in this space around what actually makes a viral video. I'm going to be going over the content strategy, the types of content you should be making. Going to be giving you a little bit of a behind the curtain look about what I do to come up with an almost unlimited source of video ideas. This is a big sticking point for a lot of people. And then finally, I'm going to be running over an organic monetization strategy that is working super well right now on the organic platforms. So just to give you a little bit of an overview about who I am, my name is Simon Shaw. Like Rich said, on social media, I go as Shawpreneur. I started out several years ago kind of in the financial space, writing copy for various offers. So I was working with a lot of financial info offers as well as traditional wealth managers and advisors. And I was writing a lot of VSLs and landing pages for their offers, which was a nightmare because the compliance world in that space is super tough. You write a banger piece of copy and the compliance department basically turns it into something completely different. Since that time, I've built my own personal brand to over 150,000 followers across platforms in the business marketing niche. And yeah, like Rich said, I own a company that makes video content for personal brands, helps them go viral, build an audience that they can monetize. And yeah, in the past 3.5 years, worked with over 200 clients in every niche you can imagine: gambling, crypto, coaching, business, fitness, e-com, mobile apps, hypnotherapy, nonprofits, like anything you can imagine. Like we've made content in that space. Like Rich said, we work with people like Chris Williamson, Modern Wisdom Podcast, Daniel Fazio, Peter Sage. So that's pretty much enough about me. I want to get on to the 1.4 million follower man. His name is Mike Colbert. He's an 11-time NCAA All-American swimmer. He's based in Austin, Texas. He owns multiple brick and mortar swim facilities in Austin, Texas. He owns top swim teams in Austin. And now we run an info offer teaching adults how to swim. Now, this is a super weird niche, right? That, people maybe not even consider that you could build a personal brand off the back of this, let alone one so big. About 1.4 million followers in 6 months, teaching people how to swim. And here's the result that we've generated. So before, Mike came to us, he literally had zero social media. The guy's like in his 60s or whatever. Like, he didn't have any Instagram, he didn't have any Facebook, he didn't even know what a TikTok was, right? But by today's April 30th, so basically by May 2024, he's now has 1.4 million followers across platforms. And that's such a steep rise. And I'm going to be sharing with you guys kind of the steps that we took to actually get there and kind of really make videos go mega viral. And that's what we're really going to be covering here, because there's a difference between videos that hit, say 100K or 1 million views versus videos that will push past 50 million views, for example, right? So yeah, in that time frame, Mike has done 200 million views, which if you had wanted to pay for those views on ads, it's $2.5 million at a $10 CPM, which is crazy to think you can hit that kind of impressions, basically for free. His biggest video hit 61 million views, was featured on mainstream media outlets like SportsCenter, Lad Bible, Washington Post, and a whole bunch more. And his paid offer is on track. We just launched it a couple months ago, on track to do over $1 million this year, solely from organic on a low ticket info product. So we haven't incorporated any retargeting. We haven't incorporated any paid traffic. This is just driving people to his offer from Instagram, from TikTok. That's, and hopefully, we can do a lot more once we actually incorporate some paid advertising. So that's the result. But I just want to bring everybody down to earth a little bit, because that result, it's not typical, right? Like, full disclaimer, it's not a typical result, right? And I just want to bring everyone down to earth and give you a little bit of perspective on what to actually expect from this personal branding journey. And if anyone's grown a personal brand and is watching this, maybe they can relate to this, but you have to go into growing a personal brand with a multi-year mindset. If you think that it's going to be, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and you're famous and rich and whatever, it's just not going to happen, right? It can happen. I'm not saying it's impossible. It can happen, but just don't expect it, okay? Because if you got to think of a personal brand, like, your personal brand is you. It's your reputation. It's your own brand. And that's going to come with you for the rest of your life. So if something's going to be with you for the rest of your life, why would you go into it with a 30-day mindset, right? So you can't be thinking that, if this doesn't work within 90 days, I'm just going to quit. You have to realize that this is something that you need to push for the long term if you want it to work really well. The next thing is, don't be a perfectionist. This is such a huge mistake that I see people make, especially when they're first starting out on video content. They try to make their videos perfect the first time around. They spend weeks and weeks and weeks preparing and trying to find the best hook and trying to come up with the best edit, the best lighting, and this and that. And then they post a video after all that time, and then you get 100 views, 200 views. So you've just wasted all this time and still only got 100 views. What you have to do is first focus on quantity. You have to focus on a higher volume of posts in order to figure out what quality is, right? You don't even know what quality is in the beginning until you've put in the reps and gone through the trial and error and figured out exactly what's going to work for you. Figure out exactly what kind of edits to do, what to say in your hook, what kind of topics to talk about. You don't know any of that stuff until you go through a quantity, because quantity will eventually create the quality, right? So don't try and be a perfectionist. Just take imperfect action and just start posting. Just start posting videos every single day until you can start to figure out exactly what's working.
And for this, we're primarily talking about short form, correct?
Yeah, we're talking about it. Yeah, exclusively short form content for sure.
And just to make sure that everyone's, so Instagram is 90 seconds the reel, shorts are 60 seconds, or are they both like?
Yeah, YouTube caps you at 60 seconds for a short, which is a bit annoying. TikTok, you can go up to 5 to 10 minutes now. Instagram, I'm not too sure what Instagram's cap is, but in general, I always just advise keeping it between 30 to 90 seconds. At max. There's really not much reason to go longer than that. In general, it's going to be 30 to 60 seconds. And
maybe you're going to get to this. So if you are, you can just tell me. I'm going to get to that. But like, for someone like myself, I'm probably I like to talk, I guess. And so I've been thinking about doing more reels. Right now, I've just been like posting some old stuff that we did for YouTube, and I'm kind of reposting it, and it seems to have some life to it. But I have a bunch of ideas like I want to post, but I get in my head because most of them I don't know if I can discuss well in under a minute. Like, because most of I'm kind of a philosophical person a lot, and so I want to share some deeper thoughts. And any, I don't know, I assume because you work with a lot of people, maybe you have some words of wisdom there, like, how do you get it tighter? I mean, you certainly can edit it tighter after the fact, but if you're trying to just get into a groove and start recording, posting, do you kind of, yeah, what's your thought?
Yeah, so I have a couple things to say on that. So one, it's all about the preparation, right?
Okay.
Well, actually, three things to say on about it. So it's all about preparation. So I always say to people, especially if you're inexperienced with recording short form content, prepare the talking points, prepare the document in advance, and have it beside you when you're recording, so you can write it out as you think you will say it, and then
Hmm.
you can refer to your document and just say it exactly as you've written it. So that will keep you in the time constraints. If you just record off the cuff, unless you're like a top 1% speaker for short form, you're not going to be able to condense yourself off the cuff, and that will come over time, right? And that's the second point. It's going to be a case of putting in the reps. Once you put in those reps and you're now used to talking, because when you record, right, when you're aiming for say a 60-second video, right, that's the final product, that's the edited video. But maybe the clip that you're recording might be 3 to 5 minutes. Once you cut out all the fluffs and the mess ups and all the dead space and this and that, it can cut down to a minute. So you might have 3 to 5 minutes to actually record the video, and later it'll be cut down. And I had a third point and I completely left my there. But yeah, this is the point. So I'll give you a real example of a video that we made for Chris Williamson, right? So it was the same clip. So it was an audio clip taken from one of his most viral posts, right? One of his most viral videos. And we turned it into two videos. The first video was the first 30 seconds of that audio file. And the second video was the first 30 seconds plus another minute on the back of just the audio clip continuing, right? So one video was 30 seconds, the other was 1 minute 30. You would think that the 30-second would do a lot more views. It did like 300-400K, but the 1 minute 30, identical clip, except it was a minute longer with some extra stuff in the back, did 6-7 million views, just because it was a bit longer. So whenever you have like good content, people don't mind watching it for a bit longer, right? It doesn't have to be short. It can be a little bit longer as long as what you're saying is actually captivating. And that comes with practice. And copywriters have an advantage here because they can type or they can write in these captivating ways. So if you can just translate that written form into a verbal form, it's going to be extremely easy to keep people captivated.
Got it. Cool.
But yeah, like just going on to the next point. So you need to be audience first, then product. A lot of people that I speak to are thinking, okay, I'm going to invest all this time and all this effort into recording videos and putting out stuff and this and that. Maybe you're going to spend a little bit of money on your cameras and whatever. I need a product. I need to ROI on this. I need a product to sell to this audience that I don't even have yet. And that's a problem because one, you're just delaying, you're just wasting time. You're going to spend all these months figuring out a product and building it and this and that. Then you're going to go post videos and you're not going to get traction for a while. You have no one to even sell the product to. And then a lot of times what happens when you do get an audience, they're not even interested in your product, right? You built a product for an audience that you just had in your head. You weren't basing it on reality, right? So what you got to do is build the audience first, see what they're telling you in your DMs and your comments and everything else, see what they're actually responding to in your Instagram stories. You can poll them and then you can figure out what product to do. Your audience is your market research tool. So build the audience first and then focus on product. And then the final point is everything I'm going to be telling you here, you can just disregard it if you're famous, right? If you have a very famous face, you can literally take everything I'm saying right now and just throw it out the window because it's not going to matter. Every single rule can be broken if you're famous. Alex Hormozy could post a video of him eating a burrito whilst running on a treadmill and people will watch it. But if I post it, no one's going to give a fuck, right? You can post whatever you want. You can say whatever you want, do whatever you want if you are famous because your face is the attention grabber, is the hook. But if you're not famous, then you need to follow the fundamentals of viral videos. And what you'll also notice is you will find a lot of examples that contradict what I'm saying in this. The algorithm is super unpredictable. And a lot of times people don't even know what's going to go viral. So it's best to follow some principles, the foundational principles, but you will find stuff that completely contradicts what I say. It's a weird world in the viral content space, and kind of anything goes. But I just wanted to give everyone a little bit of a disclaimer, come down to earth, context, perspective for a second. And just to kind of go off the back of that, I don't know if you've ever seen this graph before, Rich, just like the life cycle of like a market of like Bitcoin or stocks or whatever.
Yeah, the hype cycle.
Yeah, exactly. Building a personal brand is the exact same as this chart, except backwards. Does my mouse come on screen? It does. It's the exact same except backwards. So you're going to start down here. Maybe you're going to be a little bit excited, to get going, but you're going to be eating shit for like a long time. You're going to be posting and posting every day. And this time frame, by the way, this could be months, this could be years, right? You're going to be posting every day for a long time, and it's going to seem like nothing's working. It's going to seem like you're posting once, twice a day. You can barely break 500 to 1,000 views. And you're getting depressed. You're like, what the hell am I doing? You hit rock bottom, and then slowly but surely, you're going to come up. You're going to be getting 2,000, 3,000 views. Things are looking good. Some ups and downs here and there. And then one day, you don't know when it's going to be. Could be tomorrow. Could be in 6 months. One day, you're going to hit a viral banger. And after that, your entire metrics of your account is just going to go vertical off the back of one video. You're going to gain 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 followers in a single day, and everything is just going to be up after that. Once you hit one of these viral bangers, all of the videos you post after that by default are going to get an automatic bump in the algorithm. I can't really prove this, but I think that, once you get a viral video, the algorithm just ranks your account higher and just gives you more views by default. You're going to have a higher baseline of your lowest views, right? So before you might have been like, the lowest you'll ever get is 300 views. Once you get up here, the lowest you'll ever get is maybe 5 to 10K, right? After you get a big viral video. And you're going to be riding this wave all the way to the top. And one of two things is going to happen here, right? One is you're going to get complacent and you're going to stop posting. And what's going to happen is you're going to end up right back down here at this stage. And if you stop posting for, say, 2 months, 3 months, you will lose all of your momentum. And you're going to have to go through this stage again of getting really crappy views until you hit another viral banger, which you don't know when that's going to be. So the key, once you eventually do hit a viral banger, just don't stop. Keep posting. You have to keep up the actions that got you to that place in the first place. I see too many people, they get to the top, they're getting leads, they're getting clients, they're getting closes, making money. There are tons of followers, this, that, and the other, people opting into their lead magnets, whatever. They take their foot off the gas, and then it just goes downhill. But the best personal brands, they're posting like crazy. Hormozy never stopped posting. Grant Cardone never stopped posting. Whoever else you can think of never stopped posting. Like if we look at Tai Lopez, like he's obviously one of the biggest, online gurus of recent years, right? He took a hiatus and he was at the top of the game. And now if you look at his viral videos, like he should be getting 10 times, 100 times more. Sorry, if you look at his short form videos, not viral videos, he should be getting 10 to 100 times more views. But now he has to do a reintroduction phase. He's still famous to everyone who knew him from before, but the new market of people that are like the Hormozy era, they might not know who he is. They weren't in the here in my garage phase, right? He took a hiatus and now he needs to do the work of rebuilding back up his personal brand. And people have stopped for all sorts of reasons, but for the most part, when you start to hit viral videos, you need to keep posting, because if you don't, you're going to end up right back at the beginning, and you got to basically turn the engine back up again. So moving on. So this is just the general roadmap of what you need to do in order to get a personal brand to grow quickly, as quick as you can make it, right? Obviously the end goal is building an audience you can make money from. That's what 99% of people that build a personal brand want. They want to get an audience, they want to get views, they want to get traffic, they want to sell a product. But you can't make make money from product if no one can see it. So in order to get people to see it, you need traffic. To get traffic, you need followers, and to get followers, you need to post valuable video content, right? So your initial goal is not make money. This goes back to what I was saying, about the audience first, product later. Your goal is not to make money. Your goal is just to post every day for 3 to 6 months at minimum, right? We got to think about our inputs and outputs here. A lot of people will just have a very vague goal in their mind, like, I want to get 100K followers, but they don't really think about the inputs they need to put in the front to actually get that result. So think about it like in the gym, right? If you want a six-pack, it's not enough to just think in your head, I want a six-pack, and just blindly walk towards that goal somehow. You need to think, what am I putting in my mouth? How much movement am I doing every day? Am I measuring my body fat? And all these different things. You need to control the inputs. And once you control the inputs and do those things right, the output will bring itself, right? You will get your six pack. It's the same thing here. If you want to build an audience, you need to be posting every single day for at least 6 months. And that's the input that you have to do, and iterating on that every single time.
Simon, when you're first starting out and you're doing this, is it important to like follow best practices, like as far as like having like lots of B-roll and stuff like that? Or in the beginning, can it be as simple as just getting into the routine of like posting some good videos? Because it's so much easier for people just starting out, right? Like to just be able to record, post, as opposed to record, editor, bunch of stuff. Like, yeah, but maybe it's important to do that right from the get-go. So I'm just curious.
Yeah. So for me, it's important to get people in a routine first, to test them to see if they have that consistency inside them, right? Like I said before, don't be a perfectionist, right? You need to figure out if you can actually be consistent first before you are trying to tweak and do all these fancy things with your setup, right? If you can't even sit down and record a video a day, then you're just not. It's just that's the main input, is recording and getting videos posted every day. But there is an easier way to do it, and this is actually what I did with my own audience. So I would batch record 30 videos every single week for 2 to 3 months to build this huge bank of videos. And then I would post 2 to 3 times every single day. So at the end of 3 months, I had 300 and something videos recorded, and I was able to post 3 times every day for months, right? And what that allowed me to do was find which topics were hitting the algorithm easier. And also I was condensing my learning phase, right? The learning curve was way flatter because I was getting more reps done in a shorter period of time. I got week by week, I was more comfortable on camera. I was speaking better. I was making myself better hooks, and everything was just getting better every single week because I had that immediate feedback. I'd record 30 videos. I'd start posting three a day. Next week I had over 20, 30 videos posted, and I had that feedback. I knew exactly what I needed to improve, right? So you should spend the week just prepping your videos in a document. Just sit down for an afternoon, couple afternoons, prep them out and flash out the scripts. And then one day every week, just sit down and record 30 videos in a day. That's what I did. I brought my videographer over. He was manning the camera up on a tripod, and I stood there and I recorded 30 videos every day, every week for 2 to 3 months in a single day, 30 videos in a day, every week for 2 to 3 months. And that allowed me to build up this bank. And I kind of compare that to posting 2 to 3 times a day. It's like someone spending $5 a day on Facebook ads versus like $1,000 a day on Facebook ads, right? The $1,000 a day guy is going to get his data like so much quicker than the $5 a day guy. $5 a day guy has to wait 200 days to get the same data that $1,000 guy got in a day, right? It's the same logic for this, the same concept. If you post 3 times a day, you know what works sooner, you know what works quicker, and you're able to iterate a lot faster, and you're really gonna speed up your learning phase. Does that all make sense so far, Rich? Hopefully
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. Is there any tool out there that takes like I know there are tools that will take a long form and turn it into a short form. Like it'll find the short form clips, and they may be good, they may not. But are there any tools out there that are very either user friendly or very automated, where you could take like a 30, 60, 90-second short form video and it automatically starts inserting B-roll and other things into it so that the process can be a little bit easier for people to get started?
Yeah, there's a phone app called CapCut, and I believe they have an automated editing thing. But here's the
Okay.
thing: I think that you hear a lot of people hyping up AI like it's the next big thing, and it is the next big thing in a lot of ways. But I think that it's going to be quite a while before it can edit videos like a trained editor can. I think the quality that's getting put out by AI at the minute, these automated editing tools, they're just not good. And you'll still need someone to go through after and clean it up and actually make it look decent. And, we've tried it before. And by the time that my editor had went through it and cleaned it and fixed it, it was basically a whole new edit. So with the AI stuff, I'm not too happy with like the quality of the edits they put out. It's always just 100 times better to get a proper editor. But for the long form and the short form, those are good tools. They can find a lot of great clips. Like give it like a 2-hour podcast. There's one called Opus, OPUS AI. it's a great tool. So it'll find like a bunch of clips, say 20 clips, maybe 12 of them are trash. You throw them away, and then you have 8 good ones. You just need your editor to go through and see who's trained and kind of can identify a viral clip. And he can go through it and find the best clips out of that. So I like that tool, but tools for automated AI editing, I don't think they're there yet. I think it's always just better to have an editor who is super well trained in Adobe Premiere Pro and Adobe After Effects. If you have an editor that's super good at both of those, the sky's the limit in terms of what you can edit. You can do obviously anything from super simple edits all the way up to these crazy edits that you see people like Hormozy have, where you have graphics and animations coming on screen or whatever.
And what's a fair price to pay for a single video? I mean, you're not going to do a single video, like you might do a block of 30 videos, but like, let's say there's 60-second videos and you want like B-roll and, the closed caption, like stuff like that. What's a fair price just so people know like what they should be willing to pay? Obviously, there's great editors, there's mediocre editors, but
I mean, you can either go to the third world and get a full-time guy for pennies, right? But I've never been too impressed with the quality over there, and they lack the ability they lack critical thinking, and they lack kind of like this analytical eye where they are really thinking about how this video is going to perform, because there is a way to edit to make a video perform a bit better. You need to be able to identify the best hook in the video. You need to cut it right. There's all kinds of things that go into making a better viral video. So you can find a full-time, guy in India or whatever for a few $100 or whatever. But I always recommend if you want to hire your own, hire European. Find someone in Europe. You can pay them 2-3K a month or whatever. They're going to be super high quality. They're going to be very high quality, and they'll be able to edit like quite well. We only hire European editors. We have one guy in Latin America, but for the most part, our entire editing team is Europe based.
Cool.
Awesome. So the platforms. So everybody knows the platforms. I don't even need to harp on too much about these ones, but everybody knows Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok are the main short form platforms. I've kind of ranked them from top to bottom here, best to worst. IG, and by best, I mean the highest quality traffic and the most useful platform. Instagram is the best, gives you the best quality short form traffic. Facebook Reels, second best. YouTube Shorts, third best. TikTok, fourth best. Frankly, TikTok is like, it got a lot of hype over the years, but it just doesn't even compare to the quality from Instagram. On YouTube would be number one if we're talking about just, quality overall traffic, regardless if it's short form or whatever, because the long form viewers from YouTube are super high quality, but the viewers from shorts are not. If you actually look at a channel, have you ever looked at like a YouTube channel, right? And someone has like 500,000 subscribers or whatever, but their long form videos get like 10K views, 5K views or something. And then you're like, well, how is that possible? They have 500,000 subscribers, but 10K views on a main video. And it's because they got all their views from shorts. And if you look on their shorts, they're getting millions and millions of views. But for some reason, I don't know why, YouTube Shorts people just don't convert over to like main YouTube viewers, which is why I always tell people, like, if you're not performing on TikTok or YouTube Shorts, like, doesn't really matter. Just focus on Instagram and Facebook. If you're getting views there, you're going to be able to monetize very, very, very easily. And then I've put Twitter and LinkedIn over here on the side as opportunity platforms. And the reason why I put them over here separate is because they're not short form content platforms. They're not going to make your video go as viral as Instagram or TikTok will, but they're huge opportunities. On Twitter, they're already pushing video a lot more. Now that they have the For You page and the following page, 2 different pages, Twitter will be pushing out your videos to brand new people. And they're giving videos preferential treatment at the minute. I'm seeing a lot more video. You're seeing Elon wanting to attack YouTube and all these other video-based platforms a lot more by encouraging, you see all these people now putting their podcasts and all their other clips and stuff on Twitter, and Elon is encouraging that, right? And I would not be surprised in the not too distant future if he also introduces a similar video feature to what Instagram and Facebook Reels has, and he kind of already has. If you click on a video, you can swipe up and scroll through videos like that. It just doesn't show you in the feed the same way. I think he will eventually, and then by the time he does that, you will already have traction in the algorithm for your videos, and you'll be able to capitalize. A lot of the people that pop off the most, they take advantage of a certain platform, right? Back in the days, it was Facebook groups. That was the hot thing. Now, then it was TikTok, and now it's kind of over on the Instagram, Twitter side. Twitter is the next, it's the next platform that you're going to see all the big gurus come out of, for sure. So I really recommend everyone jumps on Twitter and post their video content there to build an audience. And then finally, LinkedIn as well. Like LinkedIn, they're not going to give you anywhere near the amount of growth, but if you have a following there already, you get insane engagement, tons of engagement. We have a client, she's in like the corporate training niche. So obviously her audience is on LinkedIn, and she doesn't even get like crazy views. She gets like a few thousand views, right? Nothing wild per video, by the way. But she gets dozens and dozens of emails every single day from CEOs and other executives that are complimenting her on her videos that can then turn into leads for her to come and do training, speaking events, this and that and the other. So LinkedIn, if you have an existing following there, fantastic place to post videos. So post on all platforms because it's the same effort as one. You can grow 6 audiences with the effort of one audience, right? And then over time, it's a snowball effect, right? You're just going to create this huge traffic monster. And there's no reason to not post everywhere if you're making one video. So this is, if you're going to take one thing away from this whole thing, this is what I want you to take away, and it's the psychology behind true virality, right? I kind of have beef with, like, you see all these like gurus and organic guys, whatever, saying, yeah, I went viral, and then you see the video and it's like 500K views or 1 million views. It's not viral. It's a good video, don't get me wrong. Like, I would not be upset if I got that amount of views, especially for a client. Would be very happy. But if you're talking about real virality that can get you the amount of growth that Mike, the 1.4 million follower man has, you can't be relying on 100K, 500K, 1 million view videos to get that kind of growth. You need real viral videos. Real viral videos is when someone is like your mom's friend is sending her the video. That's like when that's how you know it's hit like escape velocity. It's when like, normies are sharing your videos, when people in day-to-day life are sharing your videos. That's how you know you're getting viral. When you're getting posted on mainstream media, that's when you're going actually viral, right? And the difference between anything below 10 million views is not truly viral in my opinion. It's a fantastic result. Do not get me wrong. Anything over 50 to 100K views on a video is good. Be happy with that. But if we're talking about true virality, anything below 10 million is not truly viral in my opinion. But to actually break through that 10 million view barrier, it really depends on only one thing, and that's a high awareness video idea, right? And high awareness means something that is applicable and relates to millions of people. So we look at it for, in Mike's example, right? His whole thing is about swimming. It's about the pool, right? If he made a video about underwater basket weaving that has low market appeal, it's too niche. By the way, shout out Ty Lopez, because he always uses underwater basket weaving as the example of something that's too niche, right? that no one should do. Like, you're not going to start a business around underwater basket weaving, right? So if you do a video about underwater basket weaving, no one does that. No one cares. There's not enough people in the algorithm for it to even bother showing it to more than 50 to 100 people, right? But if you do a video that has the hook, what do you do if you fall in deep water and you can't swim? That's high market appeal. And in fact, that was the first video that we ever posted for Mike that went viral. Did like, well, I'm about to contradict myself because it only did like 6 or 7 million views. I just said it was viral, and then everything below 10 million is all right. It did really well, 6, 7 million views. It was his first video. So that's high market appeal, because if you didn't know this, 54% of adults can't swim in the world. That's like 4 billion people or whatever, 3-4 billion people. They can't swim. So everyone who can't swim has this worry. What do you do if you fall in deep water and you can't swim, right? That's high market awareness. It's high market appeal. So many people can relate to that, right? So that's the problem with a lot of videos at the minute, is they don't try to relate the topic of their video to something that's higher awareness, right? So I made this little graphic that can maybe visualize it a bit better. So at the bottom here, obviously it's unknown. And this is like topics, by the way, the awareness level of topics and ideas. And the more aware the masses are of this particular topic, the more viral potential it has, right? Once you get deeper down the funnel of awareness, you're hitting unknown, you're hitting your niche, it has lower viral potential, the lower you get to the bottom, right? So unknown is like something that really only you and maybe a couple other people know about. It's like the masses have no idea that it exists. One step up from that is like your niche or your sub niche, right? Whatever you're super specifically interested in, that's where these people are. This is that level of video. And you can still get good views here. You still hit like 50 to 200K views. But if we're talking about like proper virality to get, 1.5 million followers in a handful of months, you need to be tapping into the higher awareness topics. So, but you also don't want to be going right to the very top, because up here at the top, we're talking about like the stuff that everyone knows about. We're talking about like Taylor Swift. We're talking about the Kardashians. We're talking about, whatever, the masses are talking about. We actually don't want to be here unless you're selling like a D2C product that everyone can buy. Then you want to be here because then you want everyone to buy it. But when you're selling, like, let's say we're selling info or something, right? Or coaching or whatever, you don't want to be up here because these people are not going to be high enough quality for you to monetize, right? The level you want to be at is in this little box here, these 3 little rungs. It's from your niche level up to your industry level. So let's say your niche is, you teach, authors how to get a best-selling book and you help them build book funnels or whatever, right? That's your niche. Right? But your industry level might be just business or marketing or writing. That's your industry level. So whenever you can connect an industry level high awareness idea with a niche angle and you can combine that into a video, that's when you can actually tap into high virality with still relevant high quality traffic. Okay, so for example, just to illustrate this point, if you go to YouTube, go to Hormozy's channel, and you click on his shorts, you click on his highest viewed video, it's him literally walking into Chipotle and showing his secret strategy for getting triple meat on a burrito, right? That's his highest ever viewed video. And the reason it is because it's super high awareness. Now, I'm not saying everyone should be doing that. He can, like I said, famous people can break the rules, right? They can make videos about whatever. That's just to illustrate the point. It's a super high awareness video that anyone can do. Everyone in America knows about Chipotle, so that's going to get him a ton of views, right? Just as a way to illustrate that. So the more niche you go in a video topic, the less likely it'll go viral because there's less people that will relate to it. And the algorithm has less people to give it to. And the more mass market you go on a topic, the more likely you're going to go viral because more people will relate, okay? But like I said, we don't want to just go mass market because the traffic's going to be too low quality if we're selling something that's like niche, like some kind of info product or coaching or whatever it is. We want to go as high as we can within our general industry and connect that idea that's high awareness to our niche in a niche angle. So that's going to give us high quality traffic. And I'll give an example in a second. So you want to be looking at your overall industry. So fitness, business, sport, relationships, whatever it is. And you want to research topics that are being discussed at an industry level right now. A good heuristic for this is if you go to a meetup or a mastermind or an event or whatever, and you have hundreds or thousands of people in a room, what are the general topics that are on the tip of everybody's tongue? What's being discussed? What's the current events in the industry, right? What is the thing that everyone is kind of aware of at the minute and everyone's kind of gossiping about, whatever? These are the topics that are kind of in the zeitgeist of your industry. And these are the topics that are going to go the most viral while still retaining high quality traffic. And these are the kind of the topics you need to be making videos on. So I want to just elaborate on this viral topic niche angle thing, right? So let's say, for example, you were selling an info product or coaching on growing like a personal brand, say, right? And you wanted to put out that kind of content. And you put out a video that said, here's 3 ways to grow your personal brand. Maybe the video is good. Maybe you get 50K, 100K views, maybe less, whatever it is. It'll do decent, but it's not going to go viral because the idea for the video is too deep within your niche. And there's not enough people that are going to watch that for the algorithm to make it go viral. So a way to maintain that high quality traffic whilst giving it higher potential in the algorithm is to combine it with a high awareness topic. So instead of saying 3 steps to your personal brand, you could say, The Rock just sold his Terramana tequila for $1 billion. Here's how he did it and how you can too. Something along those lines. And then you explain the 3 steps to growing a personal brand. So it's the same content. It's fundamentally the same content. You're going to talk about the same things, but you've presented it and you've attached this value to a much higher awareness thing at the beginning. You've talked about The Rock, who everybody knows. Everyone knows that he has a Terramana tequila brand. I don't know if he sold it for $1 billion or he makes $1 billion or whatever it is, but you've added a number on it, which always helps. And then you're saying, here's how he did it and how you can too. So it's the same thing, but it's going to go way more viral because you've connected it to a higher awareness topic, and then combined it with your niche angle. Okay. So just research some commonly asked questions in your niche. You can make videos around that. And once you hit a viral banger, like I said earlier in the life cycle of a personal brand, once you hit a viral video, your following will quite literally explode overnight. If you look at your analytics, it'll be like a hockey stick. It'll be vertical. You'll gain 10, 20, 30, 40K followers basically overnight. And then that's essentially how personal brands go, by the way. You'll be posting for a long time and you'll be making very steady but slow progress. And then every now and then you'll get these huge vertical blips. And then you'll be going flat again for a long time, then you'll get another vertical blip. And each vertical blip is you hitting a viral video that just pushes you out to the world. And that's how I've grown hundreds of accounts, and of the ones that went the biggest, went the most viral, that's exactly how they went. They went steady for the longest time, and they went vertical, steady, then vertical. Every time they hit a new viral video. Like with Mike, whenever we hit a viral video, we gained 50 to 100K followers within 2 or 3 days. Just vertical, these jumps, these huge jumps. And I've documented that all on my Twitter. I've built out a thread that shows over the months each stage of his growth. So once you hit like a viral banger, you're gonna have all this traffic, all these new followers, and you're also gonna have your niche educational videos, and those are what's gonna nurture your traffic and actually convert them on a paid product in your niche. The goal of like this more viral engineered content is not necessarily to make a ton of money. It's to get you higher in the algorithm, to get you more attention, get more followers for you to nurture later. Treat your following like an email list, right? Whenever someone follows you, it's like they've opted into your list, right? And then you need to now convert them, or you need to nurture them over time through your Instagram stories, through your other content, through live streams, and eventually you'll be able to convert them when the time is right and they're ready to buy. So you have to think about a following like that. Think of it like an email list. They're opting in to eventually be converted later. So rough content strategy. You need to post daily, a couple times a day, ideally 2 or 3 times a day, ideally. But what should you post about? I like to follow this general split, 40, 40, 20. So 40% of your content, 40% of your content should be educational in nature. Purpose of that, everybody knows: build your authority, prove that you're worth following, prove that you know what you're talking about, and that you can demonstrate how you can bring value to the viewer's life. Right? That's the entire point of that. These will get less views because they're going to be niche. They're going to be sitting in the niche level of your industry, of the awareness funnel, and you're going to get less views, but they're going to be super high quality, and they're going to nurture the people that came in off the back of your more viral videos. The next 40% is more entertaining focused content. So the purpose of this: reach a wider audience, build deeper connection with your viewer, and create a cult-like following. Right? If you look at, and I keep using Hormozian as an example because he's the most relevant guru today, but he has like inside jokes with his following. And if you've ever kind of read any books on memetics, on how like cults are run, and they run religions and this and that, they make you follow what's the word, rituals, right? And they have their little slogans, and they have their little inside jokes and inside knowledge that only people inside the cult know about. So Hormozi has stuff like never skip dessert, right? If you look at his Instagram page, he's reposting his fans every day who post a picture of their dessert with hashtag never skip dessert. And that's like an inside joke, right? And the reason why they have that inside joke is because he's posted content before that's more entertaining in nature, that's around why he never skips dessert. And he's talking about how he manages his calories and always has a six-pack and this and that, and he's while still eating dessert, right? So that's nothing to do with the $100 million offers or acquiring businesses or whatever he wants to talk about, right? But he posted that content to build a deeper connection with his viewer. And now that's the main thing that they remember him for, right? People aren't posting, hashtag 100 million offers on their story, but they are posting hashtag never skip dessert, right? So you need to post this entertaining content to turn your followers into fans. And that's the difference. If you only post educational content, you're gonna have a ceiling, and your followers are never going to be fans. They're never going to be raving, right? They're going to like you, but they're not going to be that obsessed cult-like following like what Cardone or Hormozi or Bronson has, right? And then the final 20% is sales content. So obviously, purpose of that: make money, funnel all the traffic that you've got from the previous 80% and connected to your product. So that's going to be through Instagram stories and live streams. And actually, I have another slide here that kind
I
of
have a
goes.
question for you, and it might be more personal to me, and I apologize, but maybe it's
Oh, please.
useful for others as well. So for the longest time, I never posted like a photo of myself in like without my shirt on, stuff like that, right? And I have a six pack. I'm a jump rope addict. And when I did, right, like I got more engagement and more comments, more views, more shares, more saves than pretty much anything else I posted.
Yep.
And I have this like weird kind of feeling about that. Like I'm a business growth guy, right? Like, yeah, I think being in great physical shape kind of shows that you're a master of your domain, right? Like you've got your shit together. But and sometimes like when I'm jumping rope, I take a really good picture, but it's like I feel like it's not really what people follow me for, but yet like I just like so I never know what to do, and I don't want to be considered like a person that's like taking pictures of themselves in this very vain way, you know. But like I still can't ignore the fact that it seems like when I post one of those, they seem to get more play.
Yep.
So just like, what do you do in situations like that? I mean, it's not. I mean, I'm proud of like how I look. I used to be a
Yep.
really fat kid, so yeah. I mean, I like the way I look now, but I just feel like it's a little strange for like someone who does what I do to be taking their shirt off all the time and being on social media.
So I guess like the question is, do you think other people will think you're vain, or are you actually being vain? Right? Because what you just told me, I didn't even know that about you, that you were a fat kid and now you have a six pack. I didn't even know that, right? You can look at it through the lens of inspiring people,
Right.
right? Like if you're not actually being vain in posting yourself like that all the time, then there's nothing to worry about, right? So it's whether you're worried about what other people think, or what you're actually trying to achieve, right? And that's also a great video, by the way, where you could talk about how you were fat and now you're X
Right.
years old and you still have a six pack. That's a beautiful piece of content, right? But the people follow you because you're you. It's a personal brand, right? If they wanted to follow some account that only talks about,
Right.
business strategies, they would go follow some faceless account that's called Business Strategies 101 or whatever. But they don't. They follow Rich Sheffrin, right? They follow Alex Hormozy. They follow them because it's them, and they don't always want to hear these strategies,
Yeah.
because here's actually the reality, right, about social media and about even the self-improvement space in general. And this might be a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow, but most people that are on social media want solely to be entertained, right?
Sure.
And most people who think they're on social media for education are lying to themselves, because they mostly want to be entertained, right? And Patrick Bet-David talks about this a lot, about how he focuses on edutainment and having educational content that's also entertaining at the same time, right? So most people that are trying to self-improve, it is kind of it's a little bit of they're kind of lying to themselves, and they also want to be entertained, right? So you need to take that into consideration for your content. It's like, okay, I want to have a portion of my content that is educational, but people also need to see behind the curtain of this educational authority, and see into your life, see what your lifestyle is like, see what your interests are. You can tell them about little nuances of whatever hobby you have in your content, right? And that's going to build a deeper connection. Because I guarantee if you start posting content like that, right, along with educational content at the same time to maintain your authority, when you go to an in-person event that's going to be attended by a lot of your followers or your fans, those entertaining style videos are going to be the ones that they reference the most, because they feel a deeper connection to you through it, right? They're not going to come up to you and be like, "Hey, Rich, I love your 3 tips video on how to run a sales page." They're going to be like, "Damn, whenever you posted that video about how you're X years old and still have a six pack, that really inspired me. I'm X years old myself. I've always been out of shape and now I'm running every day." Right? That stuff has a better connection to people. It's going to inspire them more, motivate them more, right? So that's why there needs to be a balance. A lot of these people, they get it wrong. They just go solely on educational, and they kind of they miss out on a lot of connection with their followers, and that connection turns into sales, because everyone's heard the, the very, how do you even say, it's like an overused phrase in marketing. People buy from people who know, like, and trust, right? Very overused phrase, but it still rings true, right? If they can know you on a more deep level, they can know you better, they can trust you better, and it means they're going to buy more easily, right? If they can actually get on that deeper level with you. So hopefully that explains why, this more entertaining style, it gets a lot more engagement, but it's good engagement because it's reaching people in a different way than your educational content is.
Got it.
So, different types, and this little tagline at the top, I can't remember exactly where I found it, but I think I might have seen it on a comment on somebody's video, and I was like, that is perfect. That explains viral content in a nutshell. Viral content in a nutshell is whatever makes people go LOL, WTF, or OMG. Your video doesn't do that, it's probably not going to go viral. Doesn't make them laugh, doesn't make them think, what the fuck, or doesn't make them think, oh my God, like, that's amazing. It's not going to go viral. So that's like a kind of a funny, good little heuristic. I thought I'd throw that in because I thought it was quite useful. But these are different types of content that you can do. So educational, obviously authority building content. We're going to do breakdowns of different strategies. So you can talk about a certain, say, marketer or celebrity or niche leader, and they did X, sold their company for this. Here's how they did it, and then break it down. Or this product sold out in like 5 minutes. Here's how they built that launch campaign, right? Hailey Bieber sold, some lipstick or whatever, like $10 million worth of lipstick in 5 minutes. And here's how she did it, right? And that's actually true, by the way. It's crazy. I just found out about that recently. You can explain different concepts. So if you're in like the marketing world, you can explain, the concept of, any marketing book that you've read in the past from any of the OGs, and they have a concept inside. You can break that down in a more easy way. Different hacks, little known hack explanations. Your opinions on things that are happening within your niche. So maybe you want to, call out somebody. Maybe you want to elaborate on something that's kind of in the zeitgeist and on the talking points of everybody at the minute. Give your take, give your opinion. Takes in general work super well, by the way. And then obviously contrarian viewpoints on opinions in your space. So if everyone's thinking one thing and you don't agree, then you go in and you stick to your guns and you talk about the opposite. You talk about what you believe is to be true, that everyone else believes the opposite, right? That can be some great educational content. Entertaining style is really anything that's non-niche. So it relates to anything that you're interested in, about, that's not inside your niche of what you want to sell, right? So that can be more text on screen videos, which is like, somebody walking in an aesthetic location with the text on the top. You'll see them all the time on Instagram. More controversial, against the grain opinions in things that are not necessarily related to your niche. Maybe you want to dive into a political topic, or, something that's happening, with some celebrity or whatever it is, like anything that's just, in the sphere that you're interested in outside of your niche. Give your opinion on that. Takes on general life advice or observations. Maybe you've seen people make certain mistakes that you want to elaborate on, or maybe you had a conversation with somebody that sparked an idea and you can talk about that. Any stories from your life, something crazy. Maybe you met someone, famous. Maybe, you had a near-death experience, something interesting happened, something funny happened. Any kind of story works brilliantly. They work super well. Life hacks for a hobby you're interested in. Maybe you're into motorcycles and there's a life hack to make it, 100 horsepower faster or something. I don't know. Something like anything from a hobby, any kind of, life hacks in that kind of sphere, they work super well. And then if you're kind of into, showing off the things you have in your lifestyle, maybe you want to explain the expensive car that you bought, or the nice watches that you have, or, Rich, you're into your cigars. Maybe you have like a humidor full of rare cigars. Maybe you want to talk through that, so just different things to let people see behind the curtain of this, educational authority, and kind of get a peek into your life, a peek into your mind of what you're interested in. And then you can also attract in people from that part of, the world as well. Like maybe if you had a couple viral videos on cigars, right? Then you would get in a few cigar people that are also interested in marketing and business, right? And then you start to build an audience, a cult of people that are like you know what I mean? And then sales, super simple, just Instagram stories with CTAs, live streams with soft and hard pitches, and then pitch videos disguised as value content with CTA. I really like these. So you can do, I call them stealth pitch videos, and you can do it based around a case study, right? So you can make a video, let's say you're like an e-com agency, right? And you help this brand make, millions and millions of dollars. You can just say, this brand made X amount of money in X amount of time with their email marketing or whatever. I'm going to break down the entire strategy. and you break it down, blah, 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 and then at the end of the video, you can basically reveal that I did this for this brand. And if you want the exact, in-depth blueprint or whatever, comment the word, blueprint, and I'll send it to you automatically. And then that brings them into your funnel. So these videos are actually super powerful because they can pick up a lot of viral steam, and you can get thousands of people into your funnel off the back of it as well. So unlimited video ideas. This is like usually a super big sticking point for a lot of people, like coming up with ideas. So we know the kinds of videos we need to post. We understand, how to make a video go more viral than it otherwise would. But then a lot of people are thinking, well, what the hell should I actually make videos on? And I'm going to explain it. And I'm also going to do one custom for you, Rich, right live here on the air. So the first one is viral mining. And this is the most effective. And all viral mining is just scrolling your For You page with intention. You're being very, very cognizant of not getting sucked into the algorithm, and you're not going to doom scroll. You're not going to just mindlessly watch some funny videos. You need to be so intent on finding videos inside your niche from creators that regularly get over 500,000 views, right? And once you find these videos, the algorithm knows that that's what you watch. And if you're starting to like all these videos and follow these people and save these videos, the algorithm is just going to keep giving you more of that kind of stuff, right? And you're not going to be given any kind of, bullshit content, right? So scroll through your For You page, find creators similar to you that have videos over 500K views or more, and use the save function. So down the right side of the screen, there's a little button that'll say save or bookmark. Just save them all for later. And you're going to build this huge bank of videos, like 50, 100 videos, however many you want, right? And then after time, you're going to go back to that bank and you're going to study those videos. Why do I think those worked? And there's two things you want to study. The first is the idea. We've kind of already gone over that. Study why that idea in general picked up so much steam. And second thing is the hook, because they're the only two things that matter. And the hook, everybody knows, I'm sure, is just the first 5 seconds. What are you saying? What are you doing in that time frame in the video? And those are the only two things that matter for making a video go viral. Nothing else. You'll see all these people say, do these hashtags and do this caption and use this trending music and this bullshit and that bullshit. Doesn't matter. Every viral video that's went mega viral that I've made, it's been filmed with an iPhone. The edit has been nothing more than just captions on screen and some simple cuts. And it had a high awareness video idea. That's it. You don't need crazy edits. You don't need all these, hashtags and captions and this and that. You don't need all that. You just need a great idea that applies to a lot of people, and the hook needs to be worded in a certain way. And a good hook has two. I didn't actually include this in the presentation, but a good hook has two aspects. The first one is it has a promise of a payoff. So within that 3 to 5 seconds, that sentence will promise you that if you wait until the end of the video, you're going to get some kind of payoff. You're going to learn something. You're going to find something out. You're going to see something crazy. Something's going to make you laugh. Whatever it is, that 3 to 5 seconds needs to promise that there's going to be something good at the end, because that's how these algorithms work, right? The longer more people watch a video, the more likely the more they're going to push it out to more people. So you have to give people a reason to stay until the end, because that's what's actually going to make it push out further to more people. Okay. So nothing else matters And the second thing, so the first thing is the promise of a payoff. And the second thing is you need to word it in a curiosity inducing way. So you need to basically tease that there's something going to come, and you need to drag it out a little bit more. Make them wait longer than the 5 seconds. Most people just go for 5 seconds on a hook and then get into their value. But if you have a hook, I call it a sub hook, you drag it out for another 5 seconds and you build that curiosity in that time before getting into the value or the meat of the video. That's how you're going to be able to milk a lot more views out of a video. So that's two things that a hook needs to have. And yeah, everything else is secondary. You basically take these topics, so you save these videos in your folder, and you make videos on those topics, but with your own spin. I'm not talking about copying here. I'm not talking about plagiarizing. I'm talking about taking that. Everybody knows that if you want to, if you're doing advertising and you want to find out what's working quick, you go straight to ads library of some popular offers and you see what they're doing, see what's working, right? You study the best competitors, right? And then you put your own spin on it, right? Or affiliates will just like rip it off straight away. But you want to take the winning topics and we'll put your own spin on it. Talk about that topic with your own opinion, your own knowledge, right? And then replicate the hook in your own way. Doesn't mean say it in the same way. You can if you want, but you should really obviously reword it. We're all fluent in English. We can reword things pretty easily, right? So study why that hook worked and just say the same thing roughly in the same way, in a different way. That's viral mining. That's the easiest, quickest, oftentimes most effective way to find viral ideas. The second thing is manual ideation, okay? And I'm going to do this live. I'll read through this, and then I'll actually do a bit of a quick live, example of what this actually looks like, just so everyone can understand. So you're going to want to pull up a spreadsheet, and along the top, the top row, you're going to write the buckets of things that you know about, right? And that are in your life. Everything from your business, right? All the way to things that you're just interested in general. So maybe you like marketing, you maybe run an agency or something, you're big into your fitness, you love motorcycles, you love to travel, maybe you love tattoos, whatever it is. Just put the big general topics along the top. And then underneath each bucket, you're just going to start brain dumping subtopics about anything whatsoever related to that bucket. And we're not looking for quality here. We're not looking for any kind of usable video idea. We just want quantity, because you're going to clean through it later, right? And you're going to take out things that you don't think are going to be very good, right? And as you start typing, it's going to get the gears turning inside your head, and those ideas will spawn new ideas. And you'll find that as you start typing, more stuff is going to come into your head. And before you know it, you're going to have a list of 50 things under one bucket, right, that you could make videos on. Then for each subtopic, you ask yourself 3 things: how, what, and why. Okay, so you have a subtopic, let's say, fitness, getting a 6-pack. Okay, how, what, and why. So how do you get a 6-pack? What happens in your life when you get a 6-pack? Maybe people start treating you better. Why should you even bother having a 6-pack? Why people with 6-packs are better than people who don't, who don't have one, something controversial, right? How, what, and why. So then you have one video that can turn into 3. And let's say you came up with, 50 buckets or 50 subtopics, and then you have the 3 how, what, and why. Well, that's 150 videos from one single bucket. And it's going to give you a huge bank. So I'm actually just going to do this live. So Rich, talk to me. What do you like? So you like cigars, you like the UFC. What else do you like?
I like jumping
What are you
rope.
into? Say again, sorry.
Jump rope.
Jump rope.
Biohacking. Marketing. Business. I can keep going. I mean, how many you want?
This should be enough. So cigars, because we're both interested in cigars, we can start banging out some great ones. So, Cuban cigars. Let's just go Cuban cigars, New World cigars, types of cigars.
My favorite is Padrones, 1964s.
Padrones, 1964. Fave cigars. Worst cigars. Do's and don'ts of smoking.
Like humidor tricks.
Smoking tricks. Let's see. Cigar lounge etiquette. Oh, fuck, my spelling is terrible right here. Benefits of cigar smoking, like networking and things. Benefits of smoking, network effect. So we have 13 here. We could keep going. Like cigar industry stories, an opportunity that came from cigar. We could keep going, right? This has literally been 30 seconds, a minute, and I've come up with 15. Okay, so then now we ask ourselves how, what, and why for each one of these, and see if it spawns an idea in our head. So how do you know it's a Cuban cigar? Why Cuban cigars are the best? What even is a Cuban cigar? Okay, cigar lounge etiquette. How do you smoke in a cigar lounge and not look like a rookie, right? Why it's beneficial to go to a cigar lounge, why cigar lounges are the best place to meet high net worth individuals, right? So how, what, and why for each topic. And if I ask
a lot of these, like I have stories, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it's not even just how, what, and where or why, right? But like, hold on one second. Let me grab something. So like this, right, is the very first cigar that I ever smoked in my entire life, right? I'm 8. Or no, how old am I? I am 6 years old in this photo, right?
Yeah.
And it's with my mom, right? That was my mom. My dad smoked cigars, and he gave me a cigar at my sister's bat mitzvah. She's 7 years older than me, so she was 13, I was 6. Yeah, right? I have stories that go back to the beginning of time, like with that, right? And I have some crazy stories, like, my dad, who gave me a lighter when I was 18. The week after, I lost it when I was 19. And then the week after he died, by coincidence, just totally by coincidence, Mark Ford gave me the same exact lighter that my dad had given me
Damn.
like 30 years earlier, right? Like, it gives me goosebumps. And I felt like that was the universe telling me that Mark is like taking over for my dad, right? So, like, I have a ton of stories as it relates to cigars, in addition to like the how and the what and the why.
That's amazing. Like, and that's the kind of content that like your followers want to see. They want to hear
Got it.
that because it's a connection kind of thing. They'll feel more deeply towards you, and they'll be more, for lack of a better word, they'll be more obsessed with you because they can see behind the curtain. They can see more into your personal life, right? But just to continue along that same vein, like we just do the same process for each bucket, right? So then UFC, we can start talking about, going to events, what to expect, whatever it is. Like, you can start going biohacking, you could come up with millions of ideas. Like, we can talk about peptides, we can talk about, different nootropics, we can talk about sleep schedules, sleep hacks. We can talk about, pre-workouts. We can talk about, if you care about,
Supplements.
supplements, performance
Mhm.
enhancing, whatever, testosterone. We can talk about anything. We can go into fitness, right? So you can just list as many different general topics underneath each one of these buckets, right? And here if I wanted to make a cigar focused personal brand, right? And I multiplied this by 3, let's say how, what, and why for every single video, that is 45 videos. That's more than a month's worth of content that I've just come up with in less than 5 minutes, right? And then if you do that for every single one, you're going to come up with hundreds of potential video ideas that you can mix in between each other to create your batch of 30 or 60 videos for that month, right? And so that's my manual ideation process. And I'm going to take it one step further, and I sometimes can implement AI along with this to even milk it even more. So that manual ideation, if you do that once every month, once every 2 months, you're going to come up with, you'll write a lot of the same stuff for sure, but you're going to have new stuff come into your head over time, and you're going to refresh your buckets. And it's just the source of endless content ideas. It's one of the best things that I ever really came up with. So AI ideation and hook writing. So big disclaimer. Once again, everyone is like, jumping on the AI bandwagon. AI for content is pretty bad, right? The only thing it's really good for is ideas and rough hook templates. If you tell AI to write you a short form script video, it's going to come out. Try it. It's going to come out terrible. It doesn't matter how much you build your prompt and warm it up and tell it that it's a world class copywriter or whatever to make it believe that it is. Still not going to come up with a good piece of content. Just isn't. The only thing it's good for is more ideas and coming up with rough hooks, right? So we take our manual ideas that we just did in the document, in the sheet, and then we use AI to take it further. So I like to use a tool called Claude, CLAUDE.ai. I like to use that one instead of ChatGPT. I think it's better for writing. It comes up with just better stuff. And then I also use a tool called Prompt Perfect. So whatever you would have typed into ChatGPT or Claude, type it into Prompt Perfect, and then it'll spit out a much more detailed, prompt that's going to make it give you a better response, right? And that's what I did with this prompt, right? So I put in a prompt that said something like, give me ideas related to tattoos, right? And it gave me back a better prompt. So if you want this prompt, just screenshot whatever, copy paste it, and you can put that into Claude or ChatGPT and just replace the topic. So if it's about cigars or this and that or a more detailed topic, just replace the word tattoos with whatever, and it'll spit you out video content ideas like that. Or you can give it your entire list of ideas and then tell it to give you an extra 30 ideas related to that list. And then it'll just spit out some more. Maybe half of them will be crap and another half will be usable. And you're like, and that will inspire you more to make more ideas. And then from there, you can use it to write a hook. So I don't like to necessarily always use the hooks that AI gives me. I like to use it for a rough idea for more inspiration. And then I'll just tweak it, right? I'll change some words, I'll reword it, but I'm mostly just looking for that creative like juice, you know what I mean? Like just to get my gears turning on what a good hook could be. So then I'll use this prompt, write 10 engaging hooks on it for a 60-second video on how to choose your first tattoo. And again, replace that with whatever you want. And it'll write you 10, or you can ask for 20 or 30. And what you can also do is if you have, and I should have included this, but if you have like a document of of hook templates, like let's say you have 100 hook templates, you could feed that document to ChatGPT or to AI, make it study the hooks, and then tell it to come up with another 50 that are similar, incorporating all of these ideas. And then you can combine your AI ideas with your AI hooks and your templated hooks, and it's just going to give you an endless source of content ideas. After this, you guys should never have another content idea issue. What you have, if you go through the manual, like the buckets process, you go through the viral mining, and you incorporate even some AI to milk it even more, you can literally never run out of ideas. This is just, you just can't. So
is there any place like specifically where people can find a bunch of good hook templates?
Specifically, you have to go through all the organic gurus. They usually, I know Jason Wojo, I can't even remember his
Oh yeah,
full
he
name.
did Steal Our Winners a long time ago.
Yeah, he did. One of his low ticket front end products was like a 500 hook templates or whatever. So maybe you can find that and get that. But usually people are just giving them away as like a little bonus or whatever. So monetization, and we're nearly done, by the way. We've only got a couple more slides to go.
No, this has been great. And I guess like once you have those ideas, what's the best way to script them out?
Just a Google Doc like this. That's the simplest way that I find.
You would write the whole thing out, like, and are there sections like hook, bot,
Yeah.
like what, and what are the sections?
Yeah, so we just split it into hook, subhook, body, and CTA.
Okay.
The body, like if I'm doing it for a client, the body will either be word for word or it'll be open-ended, depending on what they want, right? If it's a more complicated topic, like we have a client at the moment who his whole business centers around AI generated code. And I'm trained as an engineer, but I don't know shit about AI code, right? So like we're not gonna fucking write like a word for word, script on AI code, right? And I told him we communicate that very clearly. It's like we'll write the structure, we'll give you the rough, direction. But in this little section here, I want you to talk for 20 seconds about whatever it is about AI code that will fit into this script, right? So if it's a more complicated topic, just leave it a little bit more open-ended. You don't need to write it word for word. But for other clients, they want word for word. And if we can do that, then we do. So it just depends on what kind of person you're like. If you like to go off the cuff a little bit more, leave it more open-ended in the body section. But I always recommend, writing your hooks and your sub hooks word for word and reading them word for word. Don't try and freestyle those. Say those word for word. And then the place where you can freestyle is the body. Because once people watch like past the first 5 to 10 seconds, they're kind of in it for the rest of the video, usually. So you can freestyle the body and not have to worry about exactly what you say a little bit. But more so on the hook in the first 10 seconds, that's when you want to be a little bit more calculated. So monetization, a lot of people watching this will understand perfectly well how to monetize a business, but I just want to give you the kind of like the meta, like what's working right now on organic for like a special strategy for monetizing. And chatbots, they're not like a new thing, right? They've been around for years. Like everyone knows ManyChat has been around for a long ass time. But at the minute, it's kind of the meta for making your Instagram reels do two things. One, it makes them pop off even more, makes them get even more views because you're farming engagement basically. And the second is they get you a lot of sales and a lot of leads, right? So we use comment and DM automations. It's the best way to currently monetize Instagram. So incentivizing comments on your video pushes your video out to more people. So if I do a video and then at the end, for example, with Mike, since we're doing this whole presentation, through the lens of his results, for Mike at the end or the beginning of any video, he'll say, comment the word swim and I'll send you the link to my course. Thousands of people will comment the word swim, and then ManyChat will literally just send them the course link, and then they get in and they buy it, right? So we incentivize thousands of people to comment. And then because we've gotten those thousands of people to comment, then Instagram thinks this is a super interesting video because all these people are engaging and commenting, and then it automatically pushes them out to more and more people. And then the more it gets pushed out to, the more comments we get. And then it's like this self-feeding machine, right? That just, gets pushed more comments, pushed more and more comments. And it goes around and around and around until it slowly dies off, right? So you want to incentivize keyword replies in your Instagram stories as well, because it increases your reach by 10x. So with a client of ours, they were getting like 6,000 story views just when we were putting link in the story, like click this link, 6,000 story views. As soon as we switched over to ManyChat and started saying, comment the word X and I'll send you the link, 85,000 views. because we were incentivizing engagement. And that's actually how Instagram stories work. So the more likes you get on a story, the more replies you get, the more interactions on polls, on any of the little widgets that Instagram has in their stories, the more interactions you can get on that, the more it's going to, because if you know Instagram, right, the stories come at the top, but you can only see like 5 or 6 profile images, right? And you have to scroll to the left or the right to get the rest of them, right? The people with the lowest engagement are at the far right. You can't even see them. Then the people that are getting the most engagement, they're popping up at the start. So if you're incentivizing, you're kind of like engagement farming people on your story, Instagram's going to put you at the top of the list for more of your followers. And you're more likely to get a story view and then more interactions and more course sales and more leads like opted into your lead magnet. And then one of the most amazing things you can do whenever you eventually do build an audience is obviously make sure you have all your pixels set up on all your funnels and have your Instagram account connected to your business manager, and then just retarget the crap out of all your viewers, all your followers, all your opt-ins, all your page viewers. Just retarget them, just send them back in your funnel, back into your course or your coaching, whatever. And this is like some of the cheapest CPAs you can possibly get. Like, because these people, they convert the easiest. Like we said earlier, if you're done your job and actually building the audience and nurturing them and all that good stuff, they're going to be very easy to convert. And so you don't have to spend a whole lot to convert these people. And we're going to be actually doing that on mic very soon. It's the next step on our roadmap is to start to run paid advertising. So this is the last slide. And I just want to go over the key levers, just, to condense everything, into one slide. What are the next steps that you need to do? What are the first steps you need to do to really take your personal brand growth seriously? The best thing you can do for efficiency is batch record content, especially if you're a busy business owner. Most people are that want to build a personal brand. You don't want to be carving out time every day to record a video. It can get a little bit exhausting and you forget, and that's fine. That happens to everybody. The most efficient way is to batch record. Pick one day every week, record 30 videos or more, 20, 30 videos or more in a single day each week, and do that, every week for months, right? Then you're going to have enough content to post 2 to 3 times a day, as long as you have like an editing team that's going to turn it around quick enough for you. Then you can post 2 to 3 times a day. Because like I said before, quantity will lead to quality, right? And you're going to hit a viral banger faster. The more posts you have, the higher chance you have of finding a winning topic and a winning style. You're going to iterate faster. Like I said before, it's like spending $5 a day versus $1,000 a day on ads, right? You're going to know which creative is working quicker, right? And the main sauce is high awareness topic plus a niche angle equals high viral potential with relevant traffic. So don't just make videos only about your niche. Try and combine it with a topic that's also a high industry awareness topic. And then if you can, have someone with experience feedback your content every couple of weeks, just to tell you, do this, you're doing this wrong, do this better, et cetera, et cetera. If you can find someone who can feedback you like that, who has a little bit of experience, making content or building an audience, have them feedback you, because everyone knows that it's the fastest way to grow is to have some kind of, outside influence, looking in. That's the end. I'm sure you're all very glad.
Very cool. And since we didn't get a chance to talk about scripting that much, I would imagine that coming up with like the spreadsheet, useful, very useful, because like I could see how it really helps, like, so that you don't get stuck for ideas and things like that. Like, I don't know if the best way to script is like, talk out loud and record it at first to just like brainstorm that idea that's on the spreadsheet, and then kind of, take the transcript of that and then build out the script. Like, what's the fastest if you're trying to do if you're trying to pop out like 30 in a day so that you can start building a bank? Like, what's the fastest, easiest way that you found to generate scripts?
Yeah, so I take the ideas, like let's say from the ideation spreadsheet. I take the ones I like, or I just delete the ones I don't like. I copy and paste them over to a Google Doc, and I'll just separate them out. And then I kind of go through the same process for the topics, but I'll do it for hooks. So I'll just start dumping hooks, and I'm not even worried about quality at this point. I just want quantity, because like I said, quantity leads to quality, right? And it will inspire me as I just start typing. 5, 10, 15, 20 hooks, however many it is. And side note, if you're a copywriter, this is going to be 100 times easier. Like if you're a copywriter, you should be going viral. It's the most transferable skill to this kind of thing. You just write a hook that you think will work, and you just do that for every single topic. And then afterwards you go back and then you just delete and edit and all that. And once you have your hook, the rest just flows. It's like you don't even really need to think about what to write in the body, because you're writing about things that are already in your mind, that you're already interested in. So then once you have that hook and you know what you're going to be promising somebody in the video, you know what payoff you're going to be promising them, then all you got to do is just write some bullets for the body. Maybe if you want it to be word for word, you want it to be more free flow, then it's up to you how you want to structure it. But I always do hook, have your hook, sub hook, which kind of just builds a little bit more curiosity before getting to the value. Have your body, maybe it's bullets, maybe it's free flow, then CTA, whether it's going to be comment a keyword or just ask somebody to follow you or whatever it's going to be. And I just do that process for all those videos. I just dump hooks, go back, edit, pick the one I like the most, and then go from there.
And in the beginning, right, like if you're not going to have like you're just trying to gain some momentum, I guess the call to action for most of the time would be to comment or what do you think, or, you know, something that at least gets a little bit more engagement, because if they reply, that's probably good for the algorithm and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think asking to follow more is like, it's follow for more. It's kind of a dead CTA.
Yeah.
It used to work super well. Now it doesn't really work. I think you're more likely to get quicker traction if you start using the ManyChat automation, because you're incentivizing comments, and you're much more likely for a video to pop off and go viral if you have, you know, hundreds of people commenting that eventually turns into thousands or tens of thousands of comments. So the ManyChat is a super, especially if you have a good thing to give away. I've seen a lot of people trying to use ManyChat and it just doesn't work, because realistically the thing they're trying to give away is just not that enticing. So if you have something, you know, like a free course or, you know, free blueprint to do whatever it is you just explained in that video, you know, that's the stuff that gets a lot of engagement, and it's going to make your video go a lot more viral. So I would focus mainly on those kind of CTAs, but not every video needs to have it. You can just leave it with no CTA basically, or say follow more if you have nothing else on your mind.
Got it. And if people are interested in your services, where can they find out more?
Yeah, I mean, our site is viralgrowth.io. You can go there, a bunch of case studies, testimonials, whatnot, or you can just message me on Twitter or Instagram at Shawpreneur. So SHAWPRENEREUR, Shawpreneur, Instagram and Twitter. Always active in my DMs, and yeah, that's probably the best way.
Very cool. I appreciate you taking the time. And I guess we didn't say this, or if you did say it, then I didn't hear it, but that really, if you like, Instagram seems to be the best place, right, as far as quality and content and quantity, and that also that if you want to have a presence and a bunch of followers on Instagram, you have to be creating reels, right? That reels are what Instagram is pushing a lot more than posts or anything else. Is that correct?
Yeah, if you don't have a network that you can leverage, if you're friends with a bunch of famous people,
Right.
just get them to tag you and you're set. You don't really need to create content, right? Well, you still need to, but you can still get followers off the back of some tags. But for 99% of people who don't have that, you need to be creating reels every single day. That's the main driver. It used to be hard to blow up on Instagram. There used to be actually no built-in tool to grow your profile. You used to have to either have someone who was already big shout you out, or pay some big page to shout you out. Those are really the only two ways to grow on Instagram, except in the very beginning when they were putting everybody on the explore page, right? But for someone brand new, there was really no way to grow. And then they came out with reels, and now anyone can grow a following there as long as you are putting out good content.
Very cool. And have you guys played with it all, like doing lives on Instagram? I mean, I used to do a lot of live streaming, but I did it mostly on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn, and it was always a hassle. Now I think Instagram is easier to do lives on. Does that work well? Like, what are your thoughts?
Lives work super well. They work super well. So we will do lives. If we ever have like some kind of launch campaign, we'll get our client to do daily lives just to handle, like, and there's been so many times where the client will get on for 30 minutes, host basically a Q&A, and people who had been on sales calls but didn't close will hop in, ask a final question, get it answered live, and then jump back on another call and pay, or pay the invoice that was already sitting in their inbox. So if you can get in there and just start interacting with people, start handling objections basically, and explaining more, like you're going to get buyers. I'll also give you a little bit of sauce on how to make a TikTok live go viral. So I learned this from, are we censored on this platform? We can say whatever.
Well, you can say whatever you want.
So I learned this from an OnlyFans manager. Okay. And he was telling me about how one of his models would basically go more viral on lives. And she would basically get on screen and she'd be wearing, this blue dress, right? And then she would say, guys, you want me to wear the red one or the black one? And she would just do that for 5 minutes. Red or black, red or black. Everybody comment, red or black. And all the guys in the comment, oh, I want to see red, I want to see black, I want to see blue, blah, 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 whatever it is, right? They would just be dragging comments out of people, and then they would go put it on, and they would just repeat that cycle for 30 minutes, right? And the more comments that you got, the more TikTok pushed the live out to more new people, got more comments, and then they funnel people into their link in bio, all that stuff. So I repurposed that for info clients. And now you just need to give people multiple choice answers. So guys, what do you think? This ad performed better or this ad? What do you think? Let's see what you think. Everyone's gonna be like, ad A or ad B, this one, that one. Everyone's gonna be arguing about it. You're incentivizing comments.
Yeah. So like when I used to do streaming on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn, I would come in with like something that I planned on teaching and just go, right? So if I'm doing it on Instagram, it really should be more some things that I am like can talk about pretty easily, and then just a bunch of questions that are related to that. Is that kind of the It's like, when you first turn it on, right? There's nobody there. So you have to, I don't know if you just sit there or like, what's the best way to go about it?
There's actually a little hack where you can do to get more people to show up. So every time you go live, Instagram pushes a notification to all your followers, right? Mm-hmm. You can put a title on your live stream, and most people will just put like Q&A or this and that, whatever. Right. You can make the title of your live stream saying, mentioned you, tagged you. So then whenever it pops up on somebody's phone, it'll say, Rich Sheffrin mentioned you. And then they're going to be, oh, damn, they're going to open it up. It's going to open up the live stream, and then they're going to be there. It's like this little crazy, like little hack to get more people to show up. But you're right. If you should always come on with something, prepared. If you have a big following and you go live, people are just going to join, right? If Grant Cardone goes live, he'll get 5,000 people in a few minutes, right? Someone with no following, you have to work a bit more. Maybe you got to talk some more, and you can record that live stream and then turn that into content. You can, even if nobody shows up, you can still make use out of it, right? But when people do show up, just ask multiple choice. Like, what do you guys think? This one or that one? What do you think performed better? What do you guys think is going to give me more testosterone? Which food is going to give me more testosterone? This, or this? What do you guys think? Have people argue in the live stream for a few minutes, get them to comment like crazy, and then, reveal the answer and then do it again later.
Got it. Cool. Well, you gave us a lot here. So I'm looking forward to reviewing this and using a bunch of these strategies. I think we're going to be doing a lot more Instagram Reels. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate the content, and I hope that you come back sometime and share some more stuff with us.
I would love to. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Awesome, man.